Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Chio, and I have a fun video idea. I'm sure other people have done this before. I'm not claiming I'm the first person to think about this. I haven't seen anyone do it, but like, it's got to have happened, right? Like, I'm sure people have done this before, and that is turning Genshin Impact characters into Pokemon gym leaders. I'm gonna give 7 Genshin Impact characters. I've picked one of every element, a team of 6 Pokemon as if they were a late game gym leader. I have picked a full team for them, including an ace Pokemon, which will be the last one that I will talk about. And I just want to say before we get started that if anybody here that's watching this is interested in Pokemon, but not Genshin Impact, or Genshin Impact but not Pokemon, do not worry, you can still watch this video. It's not going to be that deep into either IP. And if you like Genshin but you don't like Pokemon, like, you're just going to see a bunch of cool animal designs. It's going to be fun, and I'm going to explain each one as I go, so you'll get it. And if you like Pokemon but you don't like Genshin, I'm going to explain every character's deal. And like, the Genshin characters kind of sometimes look like Pokemon. I don't know. I've picked characters just that I was like, ooh, I have a cool idea for that character, and I went with them. But there's so many Genshin Impact characters, I could do so many of these videos. And there's so many Pokemon types, I could do so many of these videos. So if you like this, if you think this is fun, please let me know in the comments and like and stuff. Let's just get started because I'm really excited for this. Also, I'll give you a little spoiler. The last one I'm doing is a bit of a twist. It might not be what you're expecting, so stick around. And our first character, here he is Diluc. I gave Diluc the fire typing. He's a fire type gym leader, obviously. And what I was going for when I was picking Pokemon for Diluc was like, Diluc's like a cool and collected guy. He's like a little intimidating, you know? So I wanted a bunch of like cool fiery Pokemon. And obviously his burst is like a big flaming bird. So I wanted a lot of fire birds, and there's a lot of fire birds in Pokemon. So let's get started, shall we? The first Pokemon that I gave him, and this might be a little bit of a cheat, is Moltres. Originally, I wasn't going to give any characters legendaries because it doesn't feel very accurate to gym leaders, but Moltres is such a perfect Pokemon for Diluc because it's literally a bird that's on fire. I was like, it's fine. So yeah, I've given some of these characters legendaries, I've given some of them regional forms. I was really just picking Pokemon based off of aesthetics, which one matched the characters the best, and I wasn't really caring about stats or like small things like different forms that technically wouldn't be in other games and stuff like that. But yeah, I gave Moltres to Diluc because it's perfect. What can I say? The second one I gave to Diluc is Blaziken. This is another fiery bird. Again, it is the final evo of a starter. Pokemon gym leaders don't typically have starters. I don't think any of them have ever had a previous starter, but it's a firebird. I had to give it to Diluc. That's his whole like shtick. The third Pokemon I gave Diluc was Armarouge. I am basic as hell. I love Armarouge and Ceruledge so much. I gave him Armarouge because it fits his color scheme better. And this is just like a cool guy. Like, I feel like Armarouge has the same vibes as Diluc. He's like cool, calm, collected, fiery dude. What can I say? It's perfect, and I love this Pokemon. Okay, the next two I gave were just, I had to fill out his roster with fire type Mon, so I picked 2 fire types that I personally really like. The first of which is Ninetales. This is an iconic fire type Pokemon. No real reason other than just it's a fire type and I like it. And the second one is Centiskorch. I love this Pokemon. Fun fact, Gen 8, I might get like crucified for this, but Gen 8 has like maybe my favorite batch of Mons out of every generation. I really like it, and Centiskorch was on my Gen 8 team. I love him, he's so funny. And finally, let's get to Diluc's Ace, the Pokemon that I think fits him the best out of every Pokemon. The one that I really think would be his like representative Pokemon, the one that's always by his side, is of course Talonflame. Look, I could have given this to Moltres, but Talonflame is like a normal Pokemon that you just like find. I'm actually playing X and Y right now, and I have a Talonflame on my team. I really like this Pokemon. I think it's cool. I think it matches Diluc's colors and his sort of like vibe perfectly. It's like, it looks very serious and very intimidating, but it's also very fiery. So I think it's perfect. And he also has that idle animation where he like like an eagle comes and like sits on his hand or on his like, you know, forearm or whatever. Is it an eagle or a hawk? I don't know, but it looks like Talonflame. That's what Talonflame is like, right? So I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is the perfect Pokemon. So yeah, that's Diluc as a Pokemon Gym Leader. For any of these, I'd love to hear if you have any thoughts about Pokemon that you wouldn't have added or you would have added to any of these characters, because there's a lot of Pokemon, and I did look through like the entire list of them for this video, but maybe you guys have better ideas than me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, let's get on to the next character. Okay, and our next character is Chongyun. I didn't really plan for there to be 2 bird-themed characters in a row, but there are. This is our newest 5-star character, Chongyun. I knew I wanted to do her immediately because, again, there's so many bird Pokemon. Chongyun is Animo, and I equated that to the flying type in Pokemon. What I was looking for Chongyun in terms of her roster of Pokemon was stuff that represented her. She's classy, she has this like light, eclectic, and fun aesthetic. She's got a lot of colors, right? And she's like, I don't know, she's just a very fun character, but she's also very like classy and elegant, and that's what I was going for. So the first Pokemon that I picked, and I think that this one is perfect for her, literally perfect, is Bombardier. This is a new one from Gen 9. I just think that Bombardier has like the exact same vibe as Chongyun. I think Bombardier's a little meaner. It like drops rocks on people for no reason, but like it's got that classy, elegant, very like femme design that Chongyun is going for too. They're both very like, you know, ethereal looking. The next 2 birds that I picked for her are, one of them is Swanna, because it is a bird that flies. That's it. That's all I got. And I also picked Togekiss, because it is another bird-like creature that flies. The next one might be a bit of a hot take, but it's one of my favorite Pokemon, and I think it's so underrated. I don't even think it's underrated. I think it's like genuinely maligned. Like, I think people actively dislike this Pokemon, but I think it's so cool, and that would be Sigilyph. It's a flying type, it's a psychic type as well, I think, and I just think it's really underrated, and it has like a lot of the same colors as Chongyun. It's like primarily black, and then it's got like the blues and the greens with pops of gold and red. Like, that's literally Chongyun's design. You cannot tell me it's not Chongyun's design. I think that this would like be her if she was a Pokemon. The second to last Pokemon I picked for her was Drifblim. So one of the things about Chongyun is that she's like an inventor. She like makes gadgets and stuff. And Drifblim looks like it would be like a gadget or like a little like device that she's invented. So I was like, it's perfect. It's a flying type. It totally goes with her whole thing. And finally, for Chongyun's ace, can anyone guess this? I don't know. I feel like this one is a little weirder. I kind of struggled with this one, but ultimately I ended up picking Female Unpheasant. This one might, I don't know, this one seemed kind of boring, but at the same time, I really like this Pokemon and I think it matches her perfectly. It's got the same energy, the same vibe, that very like regal, elegant, very feminine design. But also it looks like a little intimidating. It looks like it could kick your ass if it wanted to. Plus, I'm like a Gen 5 whore, so I just really like all of the Gen 5 mons, and Unpheasant, I believe, is one of them. If not, it's in that game a lot. But yeah, that's my full team for Chongyun, with Unpheasant as her ace. If anyone disagrees with this, if anyone has any better suggestions, let me know. But let's move on to our third character. Boom! Cyno. I had to do Cyno as the Electro character for this episode. He's my favorite Electro character. He's also like top 2, top 3 characters in the game for me. I really, really like Cyno. And one of the other reasons why I really wanted to do Cyno is because he's got this like fun duality to him where he's like really super serious and dour and really kind of scary and intimidating when he's like at work. And then in his free time, he's like really fun and silly. And I was like, electric typing has a lot of really cool looking mons and a lot of really silly, cute looking ones. So I wanted to do a team that was like split between those 2 aesthetics. And I thought that was a really fun idea, so I wanted to do Cyno. The first Pokemon I picked for him is Zebstrika. I really like this Pokemon. I think it's definitely going for that like aesthetic that Cyno has, which is that sort of like scary, intimidating look. It's got that sort of mean eye. And it's kind of got ears like Cyno, kind of. It's a bit of a stretch, just ignore that. The next Pokemon that I picked for Cyno is Heliolisk. I love this Pokemon. I think he's so fun. He's so silly. It also looks like a little desert lizard, like the little lizards you find in deserts, and Cyno is from the desert, and it's perfect. It's an electric typing, it's from the desert, it's funny, it's like really lame looking. I feel like Cyno would really like this Pokemon, and I really like this Pokemon. I think it's underrated as hell. This next one is a little bit indulgent, I will say, and that would be Zeraora. Out of all Pokemon, Zeraora is the most like a shonen protagonist. And Cyno, his whole like deal is based off of Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! So I was like, I need to give him this electric shonen protag Pokemon, because it's like a culmination of everything he's about. Also, I just think Zeraora is fun. Also, I'm pretty sure Zeraora is a legendary, right? So just ignore that. Okay, and the next Pokemon that I gave him is Emolga. This is like quintessential cute electric typing. I couldn't do an electric type gym leader without giving them a Pika clone. Emolga is probably my favorite of the Pika clones, and I just wanted more cute mons to sort of round out Cyno's roster of cute and cool. Speaking of cute mons for Cyno, I also picked Alolan Raichu. I like Alolan Raichu more than I like regular Raichu, I think. I think it's so cute. It's like a little surfboard guy, it's got ears like Cyno, and it's like a cute electric type. It's perfect for him. I'm telling you, it's perfect for him. And finally, I'm sure that a lot of you saw this coming 3,000 miles away, because there is one Pokemon that's perfect for Cyno's ace. It's got that cool energy, it's also kind of cute. It's got like the wolfiness to it, it's got the ears, everything. And that of course would be Luxray. Look, if you don't like Luxray, you're lying to yourself. It's peak edgy middle school OC energy, and that's why it's perfect. I love this Pokemon. I think that Cyno would unironically love it. It's perfectly edgy for him. It's perfectly cute. It's got this perfect balance. The entire evolutionary line is great. I stand so strongly behind this that this would be his ace. Out of all of the Pokemon picks I have done in this video, I really feel like the strongest about this one. I think that this one's perfect. And that wraps up Cyno's team, our great electric type gym leader Cyno. So let's move on to our next gym leader, and that would be Nahida. Here she is, Nahida. What I was going for Nahida was I wanted a team that felt like it was a bunch of little forest animals that like gathered around like a forest princess. Like Nahida is like cute and woodsy, and I wanted her team to feel like, you know, in her demo, she's got all those little Aranara friends that are like circle around her. Like that's what I wanted. I wanted like cute little Nahida in the middle, and then a bunch of like forest critters around her. Give that sort of Disney princess vibe, you know? So the first Pokemon that I picked for Nahida, because I really think it's like her incarnate, is Whimsicott. Look, it's tiny, it's cute, it's got the white hair with the green accents. I should have also mentioned she's obviously a grass type gym leader. As if that wasn't obvious, she's a grass type. And yeah, look it's perfect. It looks exactly like her. The next one I was so proud of thinking of, and it is Pansage. It's a grass type, obviously, but it's also a monkey, and monkeys live in like the jungle, and half of Sumeru is a jungle, and it has Sage in its name, which is like, you know, the grand sage of the academia, but also Sage is just like a smart person. It's like intelligence, you know, and she's the god of wisdom. I was like, this is perfect. Honestly, I probably should have made this her ace, but I was genuinely going back and forth between 3 different mons to be her ace in this video, and I ended up just sticking with one, but there's like 3 here that could be, and I'll tell you which ones they are as we get to them. The next one is Shaman. This Pokemon, again, is a legendary, I think, but this one also is like Nahida incarnate. Like, I feel like these like cute little grass ones, I'm like, oh, that's like Nahida in Pokemon form, so I thought it was perfect, so I picked it for her. This is another one that I thought could easily be her ace because it matches her so well. It's Eldegoss. I think that Eldegoss is underrated. I wish it was stronger because I love it. It genuinely has like a design that I really, really am a fan of. The instant I saw it in Gen 8, I was like, I freaking love that Pokemon. I had it in my team for a while, but I also picked the grass type starter, so I couldn't keep it there for a while because it was just inefficient. But I love this Pokemon. I think it's so cute. I love its big cotton ball hair or head, depending on how you look at it. And I think it's perfect for Nahida. It's got the same colors, the white hair, you know. And then before we get to her ace, there is one more, and I kind of broke my rule for like cute and cuddly with this one because I gave her Shenhe, which is a little scary, but I realized when I got to this point that I hadn't given her any mushrooms, even though there's like a ton of mushroom related stuff in Sumeru. And honestly, I think Shenhe is cute. Like, it's kind of scary. The eyes are vacant and terrifying, but I think that makes it cute. And I think that Nahida is the type of person to not really care about what her Pokemon would look like. She would be their friend regardless because she's just nice like that. And I feel like she would take a liking to Shenhe, even though it looks like an alien that's come to Earth. And finally, her ace. I gave her this Pokemon because it's one of my favorite Pokemon, and I also gave it to her because it's literally perfect. It is Breloom. Y'all, that one fungi enemy in Sumeru, the Geo one, is literally Breloom. Like, it's literally Breloom, but like brown and gold. Like, you cannot tell me it isn't exactly the same as Breloom. So I was like, of course I'm going to give this to her as her ace. It's literally in Genshin Impact, like, it's perfect. I'll admit the typing of grass fighting doesn't fit her super well. She's not like combative, but just aesthetically, it's so perfect for her. It's so perfect, I swear. Just because it's like literally a Genshin Impact enemy, dude. But yeah, that wraps up grass type gym leader Nahida. I feel pretty strongly about this one. So yeah, let's move on to our next character. Our ice type Pokemon gym leader is Chongyun. Chongyun is my favorite character when Genshin originally launched. I love him to death. I think he's so cute. And I knew I wanted to give him a team. For Chongyun, what I was thinking is he's like cute and friendly, but he also wants to be like really cool and professional about his job. So I wanted a team that was a good mix of like cool and fun, but also like cool in the other way, like kind of awesome looking, you know? Something that looks like it would be a bunch of friends, but also could probably kick someone's ass. So the first one I went with is Snom. This is just cute, man. Who doesn't like Snom? It's adorable. I feel like Chongyun would have a soft spot for it. The next Pokemon I picked is Alolan Vulpix. I honestly think this one matches Chongyun the most. It's very cute. It's very icy. It grows up to be something much like cooler and more badass. But this version is so cute. Plus, I love Alolan Vulpix. It is adorable. While we're talking about ice type Alolan variants, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about Alolan Sandslash. I think this one's perfect too. It's icy, it's got that cool factor, it's got that would beat you up probably factor. And it's just generally cool and icy, just like Chongyun. And since we're talking about regional variants, we'll also go and mention Galarian Darumaka. I think this Pokemon is hilarious. I genuinely think it's so good. And I think it matches Chongyun as well. It's got that like trying to look a little tough, a little intimidating, but ultimately you can't take it seriously. Like, it's just cute, just like Chongyun. The second to last Pokemon I picked for Chongyun is Articuno. Again, this is a legendary. However, it's an ice bird. His aunt is Shenhe, who's an ice bird. Well, she's like bird themed, you know? And Shenhe was trained by Shengyun, who's also a bird, and Chongyun's cryo. It's perfect. It's great. This one rules. And finally, for his ace, anybody who knows Chongyun, anybody who knows Pokemon saw this coming a million miles away. You know exactly what Pokemon is going to be his ace, because it's perfect. That is, of course, Vanillish. I could have picked Vanillux, I believe it's what it's called, which is the evolved form of this that has the 2 popsicles, but Chongyun only has 1 popsicle at a time. And yeah, like, this Pokemon is literally just like an ice lolly. I think it's technically ice cream, not a lolly or a popsicle or whatever. But the idea is there. It's perfect. I know that a lot of people hate this Pokemon, and trust me, it is not my favorite either. But you can't argue against the facts. It's perfect for Chongyun. It's exactly his thing. That's like what he's known for, is his little ice popsicles. Generally speaking, I'm really endeared to gym leader Chongyun. I think he'd be like new to the job, like he just got the gig, he's still a little new at it, his team's not fully evolved, so he doesn't feel super prepared. I don't know why I'm characterizing him and I didn't with any of the others, but I think it like matches what he's like in the game, where he's trying like really hard to be a good exorcist, but he doesn't feel like he's achieving it that well, and I feel like this is perfect. So let's move on to our second to last gym leader. And our second to last gym leader is Navia. I am sorry that I did not get her splash art like all the other characters. There wasn't a good PNG I could find online. So it's her in-game model. But it's okay because she's so fabulous. She still looks good. It's fine. It's fine. I had absolutely, without a doubt, the most trouble with Navia. I was going back and forth between picking rock and ground for her, and found out that I don't like the rock and ground type Pokemon like at all. I feel like they do a pretty bad job with these Mon. I ended up picking rock though because I think rock, the element matches Geo in game more than ground. Ground is more about like soil and earth and dirt and stuff, but in Genshin, Geo is more about like hard rock and crystals and structure and stuff. So I picked rock, and while I was picking them, I wanted a team that was like flashy and fun and cute, but also looked like they knew what they were doing, right? Like Navia, she's really fun, she's really flashy, she's really elegant and lighthearted, but also like she's got a lot of ambition and rigor to her, and that's kind of what I wanted from this team. So the first one that I picked for Navia is Rockruff. This used to be one of my favorite Pokemon. It actually used to be my favorite Pokemon back when Gen 7 released. I just think that Navia would enjoy having a little puppy. Right? You can't tell me I'm wrong. You could see Navia walking down the streets of Fontaine with this thing on a leash, right? Like it's perfect for her. I think that she'd love it. And then it grows up to be Lycanroc, and that's like a big scary dog, which is perfect. For her second Pokemon, I picked our first Fossilmon of the video, and that would be Aurorus. I actually have this on my X and Y team as well right now. I think Aurorus is perfect. It matches Navia's colors really well. With the blue and the yellow, it's also very like elegant and pretty, but still looks pretty intimidating. I think I've scaled it down a lot in this image so that it would fit on the screen. I also should mention, I should mention this earlier, these Pokemon aren't like accurate in size. Some of them are too small, some of them are too big, some of them are vaguely accurate. I was just going for a cool composition more than anything, so pardon me on that. But I feel like this one's perfect. This one has sort of Navia's like cool, collected, elegant energy. Plus it's pretty, just like Navia. For the third Pokemon, I picked Dreadnought. I know people don't like this Pokemon generally, but it matches her colors, the blue and the gold. And also, I don't know, I think it's fun. I don't have an issue with this Pokemon. I think it's cool. The fourth Pokemon that I have for Navia is, I admit this one is a bit of a shoo-in. I'm sorry. I kind of ran out of rock Pokemon that I liked for her, so I ended up just picking one of my favorite rock Pokemon, which is Armaldo. I could sit here and I could make excuses. I'd be like, it kind of has her color scheme with the blue and the yellow and blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I just like this Pokemon. I think it's underrated. I think it's one of those Pokemon that most people don't remember. And I used to be one of those people too, until one day I saw Armaldo and I was like, wait, that's actually kind of cool. Why do I never think of that Pokemon? But yeah, I just think it's cool. I have no other reason. If anybody has a better set of Pokemon for Navia, better type of rock type, or even if you want to do ground instead, let me know. Leave it in the comments because I really struggled with Navia. I really wanted to do her because I love Navia, but I struggled more than I thought I was going to. So if anyone has suggestions, let me know. The second to last Pokemon I picked for her is Sunrock. My reasoning for this is that it matches the decals, not the decals, the like ornaments she has on her hips, on her dress that look like the ship wheels, like the steering wheels on a boat. And that's literally it. Like it's yellow like her, it matches those wheel things. That's literally all I've got. And finally for her ace, I totally, like this is the one that I'm like, hell yeah. Like this one totally matches her. I had no trouble picking this one. This is the first one that came to mind when I thought of Navia Pokemon. And I made it her ace because of that, because it's the one I'm the most confident on. And that of course would be Diancie. Look at this thing. It's wearing a big poofy dress like Navia. It's got the big hat like Navia. It's got that like sharp energy, right? With all the crystals. It's like it could kick your ass, but also it looks very elegant and pretty and cute. It's perfect for her. Like if it was yellow, it would be better. I wonder what color the shiny is. Should I look it up? I'm gonna look it up. 1 second. Okay, I just looked it up and shiny Diancie is just a darker shade of pink. So I was kind of hoping it would be yellow, but it isn't. So whatever. Anyway, this is still perfect. Diancie is perfect. I stand by Diancie. I stand by Auroras, and I think that Rockruff would be cute. But the others, I don't know. I struggled. But it's okay, Navia. I still love you. Let's move on to our last Genshin character, our last gym leader for this video. And that, of course, would be Neuvillette. Look, could I do a Genshin video without mentioning Neuvillette? I don't think so. So he is Hydro in Genshin, so of course I gave him the Psych! Psych! You thought I was gonna give him the water typing? Bitch, I gave him the dragon typing. Hell yeah! That was the twist that I mentioned earlier, okay? I warned you. No, Neuvillette is not a water type gym leader. He is a dragon type gym leader. Neuvillette's energy is cool, sophisticated, intimidating, but also a little vulnerable, a little quirky, a little funny. Doesn't really fit in super well, you know? So I wanted a team of like fun, quirky Pokemon. And stick around for the end of this one because I think I'm going to upset some people with the ace I chose. Okay, first off, his first Pokemon I picked was Dragonair. This one's literally perfect. Like, this is the one that came to mind instantly when I was thinking of Neuvillette, because it's literally his dragon form. Like, if you look at his constellation, his like dragon form is like a big snake dragon with these like long things, like the thing that he has in his character model, the blue antennae thing. And I was like, Dragonair is a long snake dragon with, it's not long haired antennae thing, but they are like those little feather things. Perfect, perfect. The second Pokemon that I picked for Neuvillette is a little indulgent, but I picked Drampa. The whole thing with this Pokemon is that it's an old man dragon, and I was like, this is perfect for Neuvillette. He's an old man dragon. Perfect. In all seriousness, I think that Drampa is like so silly and so cute, and I feel like Neuvillette would take like a very soft liking to it. The third Pokemon that I picked for him was, and I honestly don't know how to pronounce it, Dragalgi? Dragalgi? I don't know. It's a seaweed dragon. Look, Neuvillette is the Hydro Sovereign. He has complete control over the world's water. So, like, it's an ocean dragon. It's perfect. It's seaweeds in the water, in the oceans. He's the king of the ocean. Perfect, you know? In all seriousness, I think that this Pokemon does not match his aesthetic at all. But I think that conceptually, it's perfect. You know what I mean? And again, this next one is very indulgent as well, but I picked Goodra. Here's my reasoning. I think that Goodra would remind Neuvillette of the Melazines, because it's like purple and it's got the little horns and it's kind of silly and dopey, just like the Melazines are. I don't know. I agree that Goodra doesn't match his aesthetic that well, but I really do think he would look at it and he'd be like, oh, you kind of look like a Melazine, and then he would adopt it. I don't know, dude. Let a man be sentimental for once, okay? Okay, the next one, second to last before his ace, is this one's really, I feel bad for putting this one in because it's like way overkill, but it's Dialga. I was debating between Dialga and Altaria for this one, but ultimately I picked Dialga just because I think out of all dragon Pokemon, this one matches him aesthetically the most. The dark blue base with the light blue highlights and then the white pops of color is like literally his whole design aesthetic. And I don't really have much more to say. It's got that big elongated head thing, just like his hair. I don't know. I'm picking at straws at this point. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, Dialga is one of the legendaries in Diamond and Pearl. It's like a pretty big deal Pokemon. It's like, is it the god of time or space? I don't remember exactly. But it's like a big deal Pokemon, basically. So it feels a little overkill to put it here because it's like, it's not just a legendary, it's like a legendary. So, but yeah, I think it's just perfect. It's a dragon type with its exact color scheme. I had to put it in. And finally, for his ace Pokemon, this is the one that I said people might be a little disappointed by. I picked Kingdra. Kingdra is, as far as I know, and I checked, the only water dragon type in the game that isn't a niche form or variant on another Pokemon. Like, I think the Scarlet and Violet Suicune, which is called like Walking Water or Waking Water or something, is water dragon, but even though I am using regional variants, that one felt weird because of the whole like paradox nature of it. Plus, I feel like Neuvillette wouldn't want to be too flashy with his ace. Like, I feel like this one just fits Kingdra the most. I think in the Pokedex entries it says it's like the king of the ocean as well. So yeah, Kingdra's a lot more subdued as a pick than the rest of his team, but I do think that it just matches in the sense that it's like the OG water dragon. It's one of the only water dragons we have. For people who are like, why isn't Gyarados here? Gyarados isn't a dragon type. I think it's Mega is a dragon type, but I wasn't going to put Megas in. If you disagree with Kingdra, tell me which one you would replace. Would you put Dragonair there? Would you put Dialga there instead? I feel like the 6 that I picked for his team are like pretty watertight, pun intended. So maybe you would switch Altaria for one of them, but let me know because this one's interesting because of the dragon typing. Dragon type, for those who don't know, in Pokemon is generally speaking considered the strongest typing. It's also definitely the coolest typing. It's like dragons, you know? So this was a big deal. I knew that I'd like one shot because I don't think there's going to be very many other Genshin characters that I'm going to give the dragon typing, if any. I don't think I'm going to give any other one. But yeah, that's Neuvillette's team. And that wraps up this video just about. We did 7 whole characters, a full team of 6 for each of them, that's 42 Pokemon, 1 of each Genshin element. Technically I didn't do water type gym leader because I kind of did the switcheroo with Neuvillette. But that's a perfect opportunity for future videos. If you enjoyed this video, please do let me know by leaving a like and a comment. And when you do comment, let me know what other characters you would like to see. If you want to play this game in the comments as well, pick a Genshin character, give them a team, do so. I'm really excited to see if anyone does that because I want to read it and I want to respond to it. And let me know if you want to see more. Because, as I said before, there's a ton of Genshin characters, there's a ton of Pokemon types, and I want to do this forever. This was so fun to me. I want to do like a million of these, so please let me know. So other than that, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Later!